Hari Om. 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 Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Shri Matre Namaha. Shri Atma Bandhulara. We have so far completed 61 Zoom sessions. Today is the 62nd Zoom session. So we will start the session now. The first question is, what is some interesting information about this Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Somebody has asked this question. My answer is, only lucky people who are fortunate can have access to the contents of the Bhagavad Gita. People who are practicing the Bhagavad Gita will not get touched by their papa karmas, just as water cannot wet the lotus leaf. Mahapapadi papani Gita dhyanam karoti chet Kochit parsham na kurvanti nalini dalamam bhavasa. This is the sloka pertaining to the Bhagavad Gita, which says that as water does not wet the petals of the lotus, even great sins do not affect the person who devotes his attention to the study of Bhagavad Gita. This is the most prominent and important information about the Bhagavad Gita. Hari Om. Next question. What is the view of the Bhagavad Gita on karma and rebirth? My answer is, Bhagavad Gita confirms that whatever karma we do, both bad karma or good karma, its fruits or karma phalam has to be enjoyed by the doer of the karma. The result of the karma phalam is ordered to be enjoyed by all the doers of the karma compulsorily. It may be now, later, in this birth, or in the next birth, or after a few births thereafter. However, it is inevitable and inescapable to reap the consequences of one's karma. Regarding the rebirth, Bhagavad Gita confirms and reiterates that one is bound to be reborn after death. One who is born is found to die, and who is dying is bound to be reborn, unless one is able to get God's grace to get liberated or attain moksha. The relevant slokas of the Bhagavad Gita are as follows. Birth is inevitable to what is dead, and death is inevitable to what is born. This is the law of nature. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvan janma mritasya cha tasmada pariharyerdhe natvam sochitum arhasi. This is sloka 2-27 in Bhagavad Gita. Its meaning is, for certain is death for the beings born, and certain is birth for the dead. Therefore, over the inevitable death, thou shouldst not grieve. Or in other words, this life and death cycle goes on endlessly until and unless the individual terminates it voluntarily by his or her own efforts, by himself or herself, by attaining the God Almighty. Constantly remembering the Lord throughout one's life is the easiest way to attain God. Mamupecce punarjanma dukkhalayam asastatam napnumanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. This is the 15th sloka in 8th chapter, that is 8-15. Its meaning is, having attained me, that is God, these great souls, that is souls which have attained the God, do not again take birth here, which is the place of pain and is non-eternal. They, the souls which have attained the God, have reached the highest perfection, that is liberation. Abrahma bhavana alloka punaravartinorjuna Mamupechyatu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. This is Shloka 8-16. Its meaning is, all the worlds, lokas attained after the death, including the world of Brahma, that is Brahmalokam, are subject to return again, that is rebirth. O Arjuna, but he who reaches me, that is God, O son of Kunti, has no rebirth. Or in other words, he or she attains immortality, liberation, salvation, moksham, accrues. These are the views of the Bhagavad Gita as propounded by Lord Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita on the karma and rebirth. So next question is, what is your interpretation or understanding of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Somebody is asking this question. My answer is, my understanding about the Bhagavad Gita is that the quintessence of all the scriptural texts is Bhagavad Gita. If you study one single book of the Bhagavad Gita, you will get what all knowledge one gets by reading all the Shastras. If you understand and practice the Bhagavad Gita alone, you are sure to attain divinity and moksham without even an iota of doubt. Just as the bath we take every day cleanses our body, the dirtiness, the regular reading and practice of its Bhagavad Gita's principles removes all the sins we might have committed knowingly or unknowingly in earlier and present births. That is what God confirms and reiterates in the Bhagavad Gita slokas 18-65 and 18-66 as follows. Manmana bhava madbhakto majjaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyante pratijane priyosine. This is sloka 18-65. Its meaning is, fix thy mind on me, that is God. Be devoted to me, that is God. Sacrifice to me, that is God. Bow down to me, that is God. Thou shalt come even to me, that is God. Truly do I promise unto thee, for thou art dear to me, that is God. So this is the promise God made in Sloka 18-65. Next Sloka 18-66 reads as under, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam charanam vraja ahantva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masuchaha. This is Sloka 18-66. Its meaning is, abandoning all duties, take refuge in me, that is God alone. I will liberate thee from all sins. Grieve not. This is what God promised in Sloka 18-66. All the secrets of all the scriptural texts are codified and kept at one place in the Bhagavad Gita. So, if you want to cross the ocean like samsaram, take refuge in the Bhagavad Gita, which will surely help you to cross over the ocean of samsara. Harivu. Next slok. Next question. Does Bhagavad Gita only be applicable for skillful persons? This is the question somebody is raising. My answer is, my dear friends, Bhagavad Gita is applicable to all people of all regions, all castes, all religions, all professions, and all categories of all ages and sexes. It is not that it is applicable only to skillful persons. For example, assume for a moment there is a person doing milk vending, that is milkwala we call, dudwala we call in India. What is the duty of the milk vendor? The milk vendor is supposed to deliver milk to his clients. Milk vendor is supposed to collect the milk from the dairy or goshala, that is cow sheds, from where milk is available. Milk vendor is supposed to carry the milk to all his customers at the pre-arranged timings and deliver the milk every day without fail. Whether it is rain or shine, winter or summer, day or night, Sundays or Mondays, holiday or working day, milk vendor must deliver the milk to all his customers without fail on all the 365 days of the year. That is the duty of the milk vendor. The milk vendor should not mix water or adulterate the milk under any circumstances. He must do his duty sincerely, honestly, and diligently. That's all. Then Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he, that is Lord Krishna, could grant liberation, salvation, moksham to that the milk vendor becomes as great as God, or the milk vendor will become one with the God. Milk vending is not a skillful job, but God promised to give the benefits of the practicing of the Bhagavad Gita even to as small a person as the milk vendor. So rest assured that Bhagavad Gita is applicable to all without exception. I repeat, all without exception. Here, I will quote you an anecdote in my own life experience. I lived in Chandigarh for 3.5 years in my young age, that is when I was below 30. One person, my milkwala, used to give me milk. But believe me, he used to come even in severe winter. Sometimes in Chandigarh, even in severe winter, it used to rain. And at that time, cold is even more, biting cold. In spite of that, he used to come and deliver me milk. Out of curiosity, I inquired with my house owner, who is this milk vendor? He told me some time back that this milk vendor has been giving milk for them for a long time. In fact, he only introduced me that milk vendor. He told me that milk vendor is a Brahmin by birth. Just see, a Brahmin is vending milk, but he used to give so sincerely, he used to do his duty so sincerely. So one must do that duty so sincerely. If you do your duty sincerely, he will give you liberation, salvation. That is what God promised. Sadharmana samabhyartya siddhim vindati manavaha, he told. So, Hari Om. Anyway, next question. When should I read Bhagavad Gita? Somebody is asking this question. Originally answered, when will we read the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, the Bhagavad Gita is the universal scripture. It is the universal gospel, and it is the Bible of humanity. It is acknowledged and acclaimed as the greatest book on the earth, gifted by the God Almighty in the form of Lord Sri Krishna during the Dwapara Yugam, with all the living principles of human life. Swami Vivekananda told that roots beautifully arranged together in their proper places like a fine garland or a bucket of choicest flowers is Bhagavad Gita. Mahatma Gandhi told that those of you who know Sanskrit should tomorrow, if possible today itself, buy the Bhagavad Gita and begin to study the book. Those of you who do not know Sanskrit should study Sanskrit if only for the sake of Bhagavad Gita. I tell you that it contains treasures of knowledge of which you have no conception whatsoever. If you want to take advantage of the knowledge embedded in this, you must take to its study at your earliest opportunity. It is not a book to be read like a novel. It is a treatise containing treasures of knowledge required for the life. Keep reading the Bhagavad Gita as often as possible, but in the early morning hours, as that is the best time to read and understand its incredible contents. Regarding the rules of reading the Bhagavad Gita, I had given my answers while answering some other questions which may be referred by you for details. Hari Om. Next question. Did anybody experience any divine power after reading Gita daily? Does anybody can gain punyas by reading the Gita daily? My answer is, There are people who experienced divine powers in the past. They are there in the present and will be there in the future. By reading Gita even once, people get punyas, not necessarily daily. Read Gita Mahatmyam to understand that. I have given the Gita Mahatmyam while giving answers to some other questions, which may please be referred to by you for details. Next question. What is the best book for Bhagavad Gita in Telugu? Somebody is asking this question. After 30 years of practice of Bhagavad Gita and after enlightenment, I wrote the Bhagavad Gita in Telugu with our experiences, myself and my wife, in a way that is understandable even by a third-class Telugu educated person. This book is entitled Srimad Bhagavad Gita Mukti Sopanamu Tatparya Sahita Vyakhyaanamu by Dr. Woodde Shivakeshava. I am a scientist by profession. However, myself and my wife did extensive and intensive sadhana in exploring the ultimate goal and truth of life and also succeeded in our endeavors. Based on the experiences, a unique commentary on the Bhagavad Gita titled as above was written. It is available. The book can be seen at the following site. Display the titled book. Subsequently, to get the first-hand experience and exposure to the reading of the Bhagavad Gita, I brought out the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Rajavidya Rajagusha Yogam, in e-book PDF form and released in the Google for the use of the public on free basis. Those of you who like this 9th chapter may write or get in touch with me to get the full text of the Bhagavad Gita and all the 18 chapters. Those of you who want the full text of the Bhagavad Gita consisting of all the 18 chapters in Telugu language may obtain a copy by following the instructions given elsewhere while answering some other questions by me. I am now bringing most of the important questions asked on the Bhagavad Gita in English in a book form entitled Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha through the Bhagavad Gita. In the immediate future, I hope to attempt to bring the Bhagavad Gita in English language if God makes things favorable to me in future. Hari Om. Next question. Somebody is asking, does Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita ask us to stop enjoying worldly pleasure? Or does he want us to stop attachment to worldly pleasure? My answer is, some people seem to be spreading all types of misinterpretations and misleading self-comments on the sacred Bhagavad Gita, mostly to dissuade the people from reading the Bhagavad Gita. This is not a good in taste and is to be condemned with the unity of one voice. When God has created all the worldly pleasures for all the living beings in this world himself, why he would ask us to stop enjoying the worldly pleasures? This is nothing but spreading the canards on the God Almighty. This is a heinous and inexcusable crime, in my view, whoever does it. I want to correct this wrong inference or interpretation or misunderstanding. He, that is God, is asking us to follow the righteous, dharmic principles applicable to all human beings, equally without any discrimination between region, religion, caste, color, country, continent, age, or sex. Enjoy your own money and wealth by earning through legal channels, not by corruption or cheating others or robbing from others. Study hard, write exams well, and get good marks, employment, promotion, learn, earn, and enjoy, not by copying in the exam by high-tech techniques like Guru Reddy, getting exams written by proxies, indulging in plagiarism, piracy, producing fake certificates, etc. Printing fake currency, adulteration in medicines, wrong billings in hospital treatment, etc. are to be totally avoided. Enjoy your own money and life with legal wife through legitimate channels. Show sympathy and empathy to people in the society who are less fortunate than you. Do not discriminate people based on caste, creed, race, religion, sex, age, etc. God has given newer and newer things by improving the technology, which is all meant for human convenience and comfort. This is all meant for the enjoyment of the humans only. Enjoy all the facilities provided by the God in a legitimate way, righteous means, and in a dharmic way, but not in adharmic ways. God is very merciful and wants that we all should live happily, comfortably, and with enjoyment. That is the reason He has been bringing newer and newer technologies so that we all may have a better life. And in fact, God promised in Bhagavad Gita that these technologies, it is not the end. The present technologies, they are not ending. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa. I will be bringing new and newer technologies in future. He promised. So newer technologies will be coming. But God definitely does not like people who are resorting to unlawful, unethical, illegitimate, and illegal gratifications of any kind. I hope you understand. Hari Om. Next question. What is the meaning of the word Vyamisrain? Why did Arjuna use this word in the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, before we actually go into the details of the answer to the present question, a little introduction appears essential to understand the context. Arjuna fell at the Lord's feet and requested the Lord to bail him out of the indecisive situation faced by Arjuna, whether he should fight in the war or retire to forest or take to sannyasam to spend a peaceful life. Lord Krishna at this juncture started preaching the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Lord Sri Krishna told Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita about the Atma Anatma differences. That is, what is Atma and what is Anatma. From slokas 2-11 to 2-30. And then preached Arjuna about the Swadharma Nishta. That is, one's own duties. From slokas 2-31 to 2-38. About Nishkama Karma, doing one's duties without attachment to the results or with complete detachment to the outcome and result of the duty being performed by the humans, from slokas 2-47 to 2-53. And finally, about the characteristics of a man of perfection, that is Sthita Prajna, or about a person who acquired Sthita Prajnatvam, from slokas 2-54 to 2-72 of the Bhagavad Gita. Because of the above discourses involving too many different and difficult concepts, one after the other, by Lord Sri Krishna, Arjuna got confused in understanding of the karma or duty, and had therefore had a perplexed state of mind as to which course Arjuna should follow. That is what he is referring to here as Vyamistrenena Vakyena. That is in Sloka 3-2. Or in other words, Arjuna told in very clear terms that he is totally confused as to the direction in which he should proceed. In pravritti direction, that is in getting involved in his duties of doing the war, or nivritti direction, that is in moving away from his war duties. That was because the Lord talked about both the issues, pravritti and nivritti, simultaneously in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Based on this, Arjuna's confusion, the Lord Sri Krishna clarified in the next sloka 3-3 of the Bhagavad Gita that what is required is not renunciation of the duties or abandonment of the actual action, but renunciation of the results of the actions or duties. Lord Krishna further clarified that it is not the karma sannyasam, that is renunciation of the work or duty, what is required, but it is the sannyasam within the duty, or the sannyasam of the result of the duties. That is what is required. Like this, Arjuna got so many doubts, but most of his doubts got clarified after the preaching of the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Sri Krishna. Your doubts also will get clarified easily if you approach a guru and get Bhagavad Gita taught by him. That is Guru. Simple reading of the Bhagavad Gita by oneself will not make the whole Bhagavad Gita concepts clear to the reader, though general understanding of the Bhagavad Gita may be obtained. If engineering or medicine can be learned by studying the best books of engineering or medicine, why should we go to the engineering and medical colleges for our MTech and MBBS degrees? Bhagavad Gita cannot be learned by simply reading it, but by learning from the Guru. I hope you have understood why you should approach a good spiritual Guru to guide you in the understanding of the concepts of the Bhagavad Gita. Hari Om. Next question is, what is the cause of natural disaster such as hurricane, earthquake, according to Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, you are asking a question as to what is the cause of natural disasters such as hurricane, earthquake, according to Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna told in the Bhagavad Gita in Sloka 7-6 as follows. एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणि त्युपधारय aham krishnasya jagata prabhava pralayastadha. That is Sloka 7-6. The meaning of the above sloka is as follows. O Arjuna, all types of living beings are taking birth because of the two natures. God referred to the nature of para and apara prakritis in Sloka 7-4 and 7-5 earlier, are prakritis. That means they are being born. Root cause for creation and destruction by ailments or natural upheavals like earthquakes or hurricanes or tsunamis is myself. I am responsible for the creation, sustenance, and destruction of this world. This is what God told in Sloka 7-6. As God told very clearly at other places also in the Bhagavad Gita that God is responsible for the creation, sustenance, and the destruction of this universe. So it is the God only who is doing all the phenomena in this world. I hope I have made it clear to you for understanding. Next question. Somebody is asking, can you review my short film on the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, you're asking a question as to, can you review my short film on the Bhagavad Gita? Yes, I can review, provided it is in either English or Telugu language. I am not conversant with other languages. Next question. Somebody is asking, what is faith according to the Gita? My answer is, faith according to Bhagavad Gita is that our scriptural texts are correct. Lord Sri Krishna, who preached the Bhagavad Gita, is God, incarnation. And he is none other than Lord Sri Mahavishnu, incarnated as Lord Sri Krishna during the Dwapara Yugam and Mahabharata time. Whatever is preached by the God himself must be sacrosanct, as God will have no interest or incentive to preach wrong to either Arjuna or through Arjuna to the entire humanity at large. Having preached everything and after answering as many as 27 questions from Arjuna, Lord Krishna did not force Arjuna to subscribe to his preachings. Instead, God gave Arjuna the democratic option, idhethyasi tadha kuru, which means you do as you like. This is given in Sloka 18-63. Lord Krishna did not compel Arjuna to simply follow him. This also shows that God is not interested in ramming across the throat of the people his views. So one should have faith in all these things. God gives free will to everybody, all human beings. You can do whatever you want. But Bhagavad Gita also told what is to be done and what is not to be done. You will get the fruits of your actions based on your actions. If you do good things in life, you will get good karma phalam. But if you do bad things in life, you will get bad karma phalam. That is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. So never ever do any bad things to anybody in life. Keep doing only good things. If you can't do good things, be neutral, but don't do bad things. God further said as follows. श्रद्धावान् लभते ज्ञानं तत्परः जितेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिमचिरेणाधिगच्छति. This is sloka 4-39. Its meaning is, the man who is full of faith, who is devoted to it, and who has subdued all the senses, obtains this knowledge, that is jnanam. And having obtained the knowledge, that is jnanam, he goes at once to the supreme peace. God further said in sloka 4-40 as follows. Ajyascha sraddhadanascha samsayatma vinasyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham samsayatmanaha. The meaning is, the ignorant, the faithless, the doubting self proceeds to destruction. There is neither this world nor the other nor happiness for the doubting persons. God further told that Shastram is sacrosanct, which decides as to what is required to be done and what is not required to be done, as told in the slokas 16-23 and 16-24 as under. यस्यास्त्र विधिमृत्युजा वर्तते कामकारतः न स सिद्धिमवाप्नोति न सुखम न परांगतिम. This is sloka 16-23. Its meaning is, he who, casting aside the ordinances of the scriptures, acts under the impulse of desire, attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme goal. Next sloka 16-24. तस्मात् शास्त्रं प्रमाणन्ते कार्याकार्य व्यवस्थितौ ज्ञात्वा शास्त्र विधानोक्तं कर्म कर्तुं निहार्हसि. Its meaning is, therefore, let the scripture be the authority in determining what ought to be done and what ought not to be done. Having known what is said in the ordinance of the scripture, thou shouldst act here in this world. Next, sloka 17-28, God tells in Bhagavad Gita, Astraddhaya hutam daptam tapastaptam krutanchayat asaditchityate pardhanachatat pretyano iha. This is sloka 17-28. Its meaning is, whatever is sacrificed, given or performed, and whatever austerity is practiced without faith, it is called asat. O Arjuna, it is not here or hereafter, after death. Whatever sacrifice, austerity, or charity done without being dedicated to the Lord will be of no avail as to the doer in this earthly life here or in the life beyond hereafter. Next sloka 18-05. God is telling in Bhagavad Gita, Yajnadana tapakarmana tyajyam karyameva tat yajnodanam tapastyaiva pavanani manishinam. Its meaning is, the acts of sacrifice, gift, and austerity should not be abandoned, but should be performed. Sacrifice, gift, and also austerity are the purifiers of the wise. That is what the Bhagavad Gita preaches us. So, remember these things. So, what God told is sacrosanct in Bhagavad Gita. Ignorance of law is not an excuse in public life. Similarly, ignorance of Shastram is also not an excuse. You are expected to know Shastram and do only what is permitted by Shastram. That is what God told. Hari Om. Next question, somebody is asking, when and which time do I have to listen to Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, Early morning is the best time for all spiritual practices. In the ashrams being run in the name of Sadguru Maharshi Malayala Swami, about 150 ashrams are existing in the Andhra and Telangana states. A bell is being rung at 0400 hours every day to wake up the devotees to start their spiritual practices of the day. I had seen this practice in all the ashrams of Vyasashrama Sampradayam established by Sadguru Maharshi Malayala Swami. That time is considered as the best time for doing your spiritual practices. In the beginning, it appears to be an impossible task, but as you keep practicing, you get used to the daily routine. I have been in these spiritual practices since 1992 for the last 35 years. I got so much used to it now, I don't need any external alarm or resistance. That is the power of spiritual practice. If you can't get up and do the spiritual practices, and if you are only interested in listening to the Bhagavad Gita, you can do so in the morning as soon as you get up. Hari Om. Next question. Who is saint according to the Srimad Bhagavad Gita? My answer is Lord Krishna told about his considered opinion about real saint and sainthood in slokas 18-4 to 18-6 of the Bhagavad Gita. God says you should not leave three things. Yajnadana tapakarma natyajyam. That is sloka 18-5. That is yajna, that is havan, dana, that is charity, tapa, that is tapassu. All these three things should never be renounced. So what one should do? God says, karyameva tat. That means you must compulsorily keep doing them. Further, God told that one should not renounce doing karma, but one must keep doing the karmas without any attachment. Read the slokas 18-4 to 18-6 given as under. Nishchayam sruname tatra tyage bharata sattama tyago hi purusha vyaghra trividham samprakirtitaha. This is sloka 18-04. Its meaning is, hear from me, that is God, the conclusion or the final truth about this abandonment or renunciation. O best of the Bharatas, abandonment, verily, O best of men, has been declared to be of three kinds. Next sloka 18-05. Yajnadana tapakarma natyajyam karyameva tat yajnodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Its meaning is, acts of sacrifice, gift, and austerity, these three attributes, should not be abandoned, but should be performed. Sacrifice, that is yajna, gift, that is dana, and also austerity, that is tapas, are the purifiers of the wise, that is persons with jnana. Next sloka 18-06. Yatanyapita karmani sangam tektva phalani cha kartavya niti me partha nittitam matamuttamam. That is sloka 18-06. Its meaning is, but even these actions should be performed leaving aside attachment and the desire for the rewards, O Arjuna. That is my certain and best conviction. That is a summary of the doctrine of Karma Yoga already enunciated before. The defect in karma is not in the action itself, but in attachment and expectation of a reward. Further, God tells the characteristics of the real saint in slokas 18-17 to 18-9 of the Bhagavad Gita. Read them and understand them, which are given as under. Niyatatu sannyasa karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityaga tamasa parikirtita. That is 18-07. Its meaning is, verily, the renunciation of obligatory action, that is action conferred on an individual, is improper. The abandonment of the same from delusion, that is moham, is declared to be tamasic action. Next sloka 18-8. Dukkamityeva yak karma kaya klesha bhaya tyajet sakrutva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. She or he who abandons action on account of the fear of bodily trouble because it is painful, he or she does not obtain the merit of renunciation. By doing such rajasic renunciation, or in other words, an action abandoned for the fear of bodily trouble or difficulty associated with such action is not called renunciation, but is dereliction of duty. Next sloka 18-09. Karyamityeva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga satiko mataha. Its meaning is, whatever obligatory action is done, O Arjuna, merely because it ought to be done, abandoning attachment and also the desire for reward, that renunciation is regarded as sattvic. Sattvic renunciation. Or in other words, any obligatory job should necessarily be done without any desire for its reward. Very well. Next question. Somebody is asking, who wrote Gita? My answer is, Bhagavad Gita is written by the sage Vyasa, the original author of the Mahabharata. Mahabharata consists of 1,00,000 slokas, while the Bhagavad Gita, which is a part of the original Mahabharata, consists of only 701 slokas. However, the Bhagavad Gita contains the quintessence of all the 4 Vedas, 18 Puranas, 9 Vyakaranas, and the sum and substance of the 1,00,000 slokas of the Mahabharata. As a human being cannot read all the scriptures in one's lifetime unless he or she devotes full time for learning the scriptures alone, Bhagavad Gita in short form gives the essence of all the scriptures just in 701 slokas. Very good. Next question. Somebody is asking, who should believe and not on whom according to Gita? My answer is, these matters as to who should be believed as your mentor, guru, and who should not believe are discussed in the chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita. The answer to your question is there in that chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita called Jnana Yoga. Read and understand. You will get the answer. Earlier, one guy approached me with a similar request. I told him to read chapter 4 and then come back to me. But people have no deep desire to understand these things, which give you solutions for your life, except for academic interest. A good guru will never teach you everything in an hour or a day. My father had slogged for 7 years to get initiation from his guru. I settled for a good guru for 10 years seriously. By getting a good guru, 50% of your spiritual journey is over. Balance 50% depends on your own ability for steering your own ship to the coast from the midst of the sea by individual efforts. So read the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita if you are serious in your inquiry. Otherwise, you can leave it. Haribo. Next question. Somebody is asking, what are the practical, realistic ways of adopting the learnings of Bhagavad Gita in my life? My answer is, every living human being needs the principles enshrined in the Bhagavad Gita. Is there anyone who says he doesn't need the sun? Is there anyone who says he doesn't need the air? Is there anyone who says he doesn't need the earth? Is there anyone who says he doesn't need the fire? Is there anyone who says he doesn't need the water? Just as everyone needs the above 5 basic elements of the nature, everyone should have inclination to know the Bhagavad Gita. Why should you know the Bhagavad Gita? Because Bhagavad Gita contains the essence of what is needed for this world, its origins and its maintenance. So everyone will have some problems in the life. Bhagavad Gita provides solution to all the people and all the problems being faced by themselves. The principles enshrined in the Bhagavad Gita are not meant only for some learned people. Bhagavad Gita is meant for all the peoples of all walks of life. Bhagavad Gita provides solutions for all the problems being faced by all the people of the world. Have a guru who will guide you in the right direction to reach your goal in your life. Self-learning is not advisable. Are you? Next question. Somebody is asking. Some say that Gita has 745 verses as against popular acceptance of 700 slokas. Where can I get the missing 45 slokas with English translation? My answer is, it is true that the original Bhagavad Gita has 745 slokas. However, as on today, only 701 slokas are available to the humanity. People like you must do research to find out the balanced slokas of the Bhagavad Gita. It will be a great service to humanity to find out the balanced slokas of the Bhagavad Gita. Hari Om. Next question. What the content of the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, the message of the Bhagavad Gita is that this world is being run by the God. He is very impartial in the discharge of his duties. He doesn't either befriend someone or show enmity to anyone. He treats everybody equally. He asks all the humans to do only good to all, including all the living creatures. He asks us to cultivate divine qualities and shed demonic qualities. He asks us to earn money in a lawful way, leaving pride and prejudice. He says he takes care of his devotees in granting what they don't have and in protecting what they have. God says he has prescribed 4 routes to attain the God. And all the 4 routes are co-equal and coterminous. All devotees are at liberty to practice what suits them individually. Devotees who surrender to him in all respects unconditionally, he will take care of such devotees without any doubt. For more details, read the Bhagavad Gita. The modern man in this present decade of the first half of the 21st century is greatly in need of an effective guide to light. He is groping. He sees only problems everywhere and no solutions are to be found anywhere. He does not know which way to turn, what course to adopt, and how to move towards a better state of things. Therefore, his life is filled with restlessness, unhappiness, and complication. Bhagavad Gita contains words of wisdom and practical teachings that contain the answer to the above mentioned conditions of the present day individual. The Bhagavad Gita is a message addressed to each and every human individual to help him or her to solve the vexing problems of overcoming the present and progressing towards a bright future. This holy scripture is not just as an old scripture, nor is it just a book of religious teaching, nor even a Hindu holy book. It transcends the bounds of any particular religion or race, and is actually divine wisdom addressed to mankind for all times in order to help human beings face and solve the ever-present problems of birth and death, of pain, suffering, fear, bondage, love, and hate. It enables man to liberate himself from all limiting factors and reach a state of perfect balance, inner stability, and mental peace, complete freedom from grief, fear, and anxiety. Within its 18 chapters, it revealed the human drama. This is the experience of everyone in this world, the drama of the descent of man from a state of utter dejection, sorrow, and total breakdown, and hopelessness to a state of perfect understanding, clarity, renewed strength, and triumph. Each discourse in the Bhagavad Gita holds for you an individual new lesson and imparts a new understanding of yourself in a marvelous way. The mystery of man, this world, and God is explained as perhaps nowhere else. The working of your mind, the real problem to your welfare and happiness, how to overcome it, what the path to blessedness is, as also the path to perdition, the secret of self-mastery, and the way to peace amidst your daily activities and duties All these and more you will find in this great treasure. It is yours by which to enrich your life. To the Western readers, my advice is I would suggest that he or she carefully reads through the entire book once. Then he or she should commence in a second time. Upon the second reading, he or she should adopt the method of selectivity, not in reading, but in what he or she takes from it. Such things as seem to be particularly Hindu and therefore perhaps not acceptable to him or her as a person of another faith, he or she can just pass by without being perturbed. But everything else that is of a purely philosophical, psychological, ethical, and psychical nature, all these he or she can grasp and assimilate fully. He or she will be wonderfully enriched and supremely blessed. His or her life will become new from that moment. I wish everybody well. Next question, somebody is asking, in which lesson of Gita did God tell that he has created the earth and he is responsible for the destruction of earth? My answer is, God told about the 8 types of Prakriti he has created in this world. This is contained in Sloka 7-4 of the Bhagavad Gita. It is the earth which is described as the first Prakriti in the God's creation in the Sloka 7-4. Sloka 7-4 of the Bhagavad Gita reads as under, Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kammano buddhirevata ahankara iti yamme bhina prakriti rashtatha. Meaning of the above sloka is earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intellect, and egoism. Thus is that is God's nature, Prakriti, divided eightfold. That is the meaning of Sloka 7-4. Sloka 7-6 of the Bhagavad Gita reads as under, Etad yonini bhutani sarvani tyupadharayah aham krishnasya jagata prabhava pralayastadha. This is Sloka 7-6. Meaning of the above sloka is, know that these two, my higher and lower natures, are the womb of all beings, that is creation. So I am the source, origin, and dissolution, destruction. The whole universe includes earth also. Commentary. God thus talks about the pralayam, destruction of the world, in sloka 7-6 of the Bhagavad Gita as given above. Next question. Why did you start reading the Gita? Somebody is asking this question. My answer is, there were some questions for which I could not find any answers or solutions, though I am a scientist by profession. I asked many people, my friends, my colleagues, etc., but I did not get a satisfactory reply. But I did not leave the issues. I read and followed even Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time and the Theory of Everything written by Stephen Hawking. But I did not get the required answers. I read The Order Out of Chaos by Ilya Prigogine in 1988. Ilya Prigogine was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry during 1977. This book, written by Ilya Prigogine, talks about the entire science and how the scientists ignored the realities and pursued some inexplicable phenomena with error and approximation. Generally, we are told or taught that randomness increases the entropy of the system. But Ilya Prigogine, found order in nature out of chaotic conditions, and he proved with examples. Similarly, he explained the catalysis, cross-catalysis, and autocatalysis reactions, which flout the chemical reaction kinetics. A catalyst, without participating in the chemical reaction, enhances the kinetics of the reaction, which is otherwise a neutral reaction. Yet, the book written by Ilya Prigogine took me closer to the reality. I then read the Bhagavad Gita at the instance of my wife. Though I was a busy person in office, I didn't get time from morning 6 o'clock, that is the time I get up, to night 11 o'clock, that is the time I go to bed. But because of the word taken by my wife from me that I would be reading the Bhagavad Gita, I used to get up at early mornings, 4 o'clock, instead of my usual 6 o'clock, to read the Bhagavad Gita between 4 to 6 in the mornings. As a result of my reading the Bhagavad Gita, I got answers to all my unanswered questions of my life. We both, that is myself, my wife, went to Guruji in later development and practiced the Bhagavad Gita. I have since been practicing the principles enshrined in the Bhagavad Gita. I am enlightened on all aspects of my life. Now I have come to the firm conclusion that the Bhagavad Gita is not a mere book. In fact, it is the rule book of the universe. Based on the principles enshrined in the Bhagavad Gita, only this world is created, being run, being maintained, being serviced, and also being destroyed when time comes for that matter. In later developments, myself and my wife were blessed by the God. We were given Jivan. Subsequently, we both wrote many essays, gave discourses, authored books on the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has thus become our favorite. We both have dedicated our lives for spreading and enlightening the Bhagavad Gita practitioners and clearing their doubts, teaching about the importance and efficacy of the practice of the Bhagavad Gita. What all I have stated above is 100% true. Hari Om. Next question. Did Lord Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita that he is the supreme God? My answer is Lord Krishna told at a number of places in the Bhagavad Gita that he is the supreme God of this universe. Even though that is told in the Bhagavad Gita, people or readers don't understand it. That is why I always say that you must have a Sadguru to tell you the intricacies of the Bhagavad Gita. Just as you can't see your own face with your own eyes, you can't see the God yourself, and you can't understand the Bhagavad Gita yourself. Just as you need a mirror to see your face, you need a Guruji to show you the path to see the God and understand the Bhagavad Gita. So get hold of a Sadguru and you will understand things better, both Bhagavad Gita and the God. Hari Om. Next question. Somebody is asking, can I read a chapter of Bhagavad Gita daily? My answer is yes. You can do that. Daily practice is much better than the random practice. You can do that in the mornings, preferably immediately after taking bath. If that is not possible, you can do it in the evening before sunset hour. Next question. Somebody is asking, how did the ancient gurus, yogis invent or do scientific research? It is said that the ancient Indians, texts like Vedas and others, have vast amount of knowledge about science and technology. If that is true, how did they do it? My answer is, ancient gurus or yogis or present gurus or yogis who are real but not pseudo are gifted with that capacity to know about everything. Such issues are not of relevance to be discussed on public forums. You seek the guidance of good gurus and yogis who would guide you to your destination. The Hindu Guru Parampara is great. It doesn't have parallels. Sages can know the past, present, and future as well. Sage Vyadavyasa showed such miracles many times during the Mahabharata time. You read the Vyasa Mahabharatam for details. My wife and myself belong to the Shankaracharya Parampara. We both are the Sishyas of Swami Rameswaranandagiri and Prasishyas of Sadguru Maharshi Malayala Swami, Vyasastram, Airport, Chittoor district, Andhra Pradesh. Hari Om. Next question. Does the five elements of Gita include intellect? My answer is yes, which included as per details below. The sloka in the Bhagavad Gita which says that the God created this world with eightfold Prakriti is 7-4. In this, intellect is the eighth Prakriti. Bhumirapo nalo vayu kammano buddhirevata ahankara itiyam me bhinna prakriti rastava. Meaning of the above sloka is earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intellect and egoism. Thus is my nature divided eightfold. That is the meaning of sloka 7-4. God told about the intellect in the sloka 10-4 also, as given below. Buddhirjnanam asammoha kama satyam damasya sukham dukkam bhavo bhavo bhayancha abhayamevacha. This is sloka 10-4. Its meaning is intellect, wisdom, non-delusion, forgiveness, truth, self-restraint, calmness, happiness, pain, birth or existence, death or non-existence, fear, and also fearlessness. The first among the 13 traits of humans told in the above sloka is intellect. Read Bhagavad Gita to know the full meaning of the sloka. Hari Om. Next question. Somebody is asking, can you share a few slogans from the Bhagavad Gita? My answer is, there are no slogans in the Bhagavad Gita. Hari Om. Next question. Somebody is asking, should the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Bible, etc. be kept in the fiction section of a bookstore? My answer is, with all due respect to the questioner, you, the questioner alone, deserve to be kept in a Jew. But every house must be endowed with either a Bhagavad Gita or a Quran or a Bible. None of them are fictions. They are all really real. Hari Om. Next question. Somebody is asking, is Bhagavad Gita applicable only for men? My answer is no. The preachings of the Bhagavad Gita are applicable to all without recourse to either sex, caste, race, religion, region, age, country, and continent. So everybody must endeavor to understand the preachings of the Bhagavad Gita and get benefited. Bhagavad Gita is the nectar available in this life. Avail it before it becomes late for you by virtue of your old age and ill health. Hari Om. I think we will stop it here for today. So let me pray God and end the day's preaching. Oh, यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्रा हीनं चेद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव परमेश नमोऽस्तु ते हरिः ओम् तत्सत्
అంతా బాగా వచ్చిందా? అంతా బాగా వచ్చిందండి, బాగా జరిగింది.
బాగా వచ్చిందా?
బాగా వచ్చిందండి. నేనే మధ్యలో కొన్ని సెకండ్స్ డిస్కనెక్ట్ అయ్యాను, నాకు తెలిసి కనెక్టివిటీ ఇష్యూ, బట్ మళ్ళీ లాగిన్ అయ్యాను, రికార్డింగ్ కూడా బాగా వచ్చింది.
ఓకే, వెరీ గుడ్. ఇంకేంటి వెంకటరత్నం?
అదే అంతా భగవంతుడు ఆయన ఇప్పుడిప్పుడు నమ్మకం కలుగుతుందండి. నిజంగా నమ్మకం కలుగుతుందండి.
చదువుకునే రోజుల్లో ఒక జోక్ చెప్పుకునేవాడు, పరిశోధించి పరిశీలించి పరీక్షించి కనుక్కున్నాడంట, ఏంటి సముద్రంలో నీళ్లు ఉన్నాయని. మై డియర్ వెంకటరత్నం, ఐఎమ్ టెల్లింగ్ యూ టైమ్ అండ్ అగైన్, ఇక్కడ దేవుడు తప్పితే రెండో వస్తువు లేదు నాయన. గాడ్ ఈస్ దేర్ ఎవ్రీవేర్ ఇన్ ఎవ్రీ యాటమ్. ఆయన తప్పితే రెండో వస్తువు లేదు. అర్థమైందా? అర్థం చేసుకో, నీకు అర్థం అవుతుంది. అర్థం చేసుకున్న రోజున నువ్వు కింద మీద అయిపోతావు.
అవునండి, అవును.
దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ గ్రేట్. ఇంకేంటి చెప్పు.
ఇంకా అదే సార్. ఇంకా అంతా బానే ఉంది, జరుగుతుంది. మంత్ర జపం సాధన బాగా జరుగుతుంది.
Good, good. Have faith. Go ahead.
షూర్
That's all.
షూర్ తప్పకుండా
Yeah.
అండి, తప్పకుండా, డెఫినెట్లీ.
ఏంటంటే ఒకసారి ఫెయిత్ ఉంటే అంటే అన్ని హీ విల్ టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ యూ. తెలిసిందా?
ఎస్ ఎస్ ఎస్, అర్థమైందండి. అవును అవును అవును. నాకు ఇప్పుడు మలయాళ స్వామి వారి రూపు కూడా నా మనసులో స్టోర్ అవుతుందండి, అష్టోత్తరం చదువుతున్న కొద్దీ.
మలయాళ స్వామి జీవిత చరిత్ర కొన్నావా?
కొన్నా అండి, కొన్నాను. అయ్యో కొన్నాను, కొన్నానండి. పీడిఎఫ్ బుక్ కూడా ప్రింట్ చేస్తాడు నేను.
చదివితే ఆయన మన కోసం ఎంత కష్టపడ్డాడు. నేనైతే నా కళ్ళమ్మ నీళ్ళు వచ్చేసి ఆయన ఆ గుహలోకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు మా కోసం ఇంత కష్టపడ్డావా స్వామి అనిపించింది. సో ఏంటంటే ఆయన అంత కష్టపడ్డాడు కాబట్టి మనం ఇవాళ రోజున ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తున్నాం.
అవును, అయ్యో ఖచ్చితంగా అండి, ఖచ్చితంగా. అవునండి, అవును అవును అవును.
ఇంకేంటి మరి, ముగిద్దామా?
ముగిద్దామండి.
హరి ఓం.